Hey mamas, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I go by Mama Lee and I make videos about cleaning motivation, lifestyle, home decor. I love to chat about motherhood and books, and I love talking about how I'm a new homeowner. So if those are topics that sound great to you, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. So hey mamas, if you are not new here, welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different than some of my other videos where I'm showing you cleaning organization. I'm talking about making my house aesthetically pretty. This time I'm actually going to be outside in my flower bed. Now, as you can see, my flower bed looks a little dry and it just looks like it needs a little bit of a touch up. So I'm excited that I'm going to be in here, and I'm actually going to be replacing the mulch in this flower bed. And I haven't done this actually at all. If you watched my last video, I talk about how I want to learn about my house and I want to dive a little bit deeper into being a new homeowner. I don't want to just talk about how to make my house look aesthetically pretty, but I also want to learn about some of the other things that I don't really know about, like landscaping, plumbing, and taking on how to clean vents and just all the things that you wouldn't necessarily think about as a new homeowner. But as you start to maintain your home a little bit more, you start to learn about some of these other things that aren't as apparent. So I'm excited to take on new projects, and I hope you enjoy the video. Now, before I actually talk about the steps I took to replace the mulch, I just want to say that I didn't think that I was actually going to have to do as much as I did. I thought, okay, if I'm replacing the mulch, I just have to go to the store, I have to buy new mulch and just lay it on top and then I'm done. And to be honest, I was very wrong. I was very wrong about all of that. I realized there were so many other steps to take when you are replacing mulch, especially when you haven't done it as long as I haven't. I moved in the house a couple years ago and I never once replaced the mulch. So after asking ChatGPT and also my neighbors and some of the other people who do landscaping work, I actually learned that it's not just buying new mulch and laying it on top, but I have to pull weeds. I have certain products I have to buy. So I had to go through all those steps before laying the mulch. And I gotta tell you, the first step of pulling those weeds was the most daunting. You don't see it in this video, but my son and I, we spent hours pulling weeds out of the flower bed. And it is a task that I hope I don't have to do again. It was so full of weeds, and we were really pulling those weeds up, so we're getting as close to the root as possible, and it was a lot. Plus, this is Texas, and the summer, it was so hot, but we were determined to get it done. We tried to wake up really early where the heat wasn't at its all-time high, but it didn't make much of a difference. We were still on our hands and knees, sweating, drinking so much water, being out there and just trying to pull as much as we could. We even had to leave to the store for a little bit and grab some liquid IV just to make sure we were fully replenished, because this was a whole task. After getting all those weeds up, or as much as we could get up, we had to go to the store and actually get some products to put down before laying the mulch. So we left to Costco and we picked up a really big container of preen. Now, I was told that preen does a really good job of preventing weeds up to a certain amount of time, but it does nothing to kill the existing weeds. So that was part of the reason why we were on hands and knees and we were out in the flower bed pulling up all those weeds. I wanted to make sure we pulled up as much as the existing weeds before we actually laid this down. And once I felt confident that we got a good 90% up, I went ahead and started laying down the preen. I wasn't sure exactly how much to lay in the flower bed. I was just taking scoops and kind of sprinkling it around as best I could. This was something that I don't think I got a real clear answer on. So let me know down in the comments below if you've done this project before, and how would you lay preen? Would you do exactly what I did in the video, or would you put a little less, maybe a little more? Definitely let me know. I am a total beginner at this. I have no prior knowledge. This was strictly me doing a little bit of research and trying something new, something outside of my comfort zone. So I'm open to any and all feedback. Now, after laying or spreading the preen around, I also had grabbed a rake to try to spread it around a little bit more. I wasn't told to do this as I was following my steps, but I wanted to make sure it was spread as evenly as possible. So that's why I had added the addition with the rake. Now, if you're looking at this video and you see that there's still a little old mulch there, we had shoveled as much as the old mulch out as possible, but there was still a little bit left. This was also something I didn't get clarity on, so I wasn't sure if I could keep that old mulch in there, if it was better for the environment to do that, or if we should have just taken everything out. I wasn't sure if I should go ahead and replace it with more dirt, because I noticed as we were scooping the old mulch out, we also were scooping out dirt. So I wasn't sure if that should have been replaced. Again, this is all a learning process for me. So whatever feedback you give in the comments, I'm definitely going to take that. And then the next time I have to replace the mulch, I will be applying any new feedback that I get. So again, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know if you would have done something different, or send a little praise if you think I did a good job. After the preen was spread, I noticed that there were still some weeds that we didn't catch, and I was very determined to get every existing weed out of this flower bed. So throughout the video, you might see that I still get down on my hands and knees from time to time and get as much of those weeds out, or as far as I can dig to get those weeds out. By the way, you might see a little baby running in the background. That is my nephew. He is with me for the summer, and he's so cute, such a sweet boy, but he did not make this project any easier. So occasionally you might see him running around and me spraying him for fun, but kids will do that, and it was lovely to have him, but it was also one of the reasons why this project took a little bit longer. But you know, mom life, we gotta do what we gotta do. So once the preen was laid, everything was sprayed or spread out, I went ahead and sprayed just to make sure that preen really got into the soil. One of the last things I did before placing the new mulch is I laid down a barrier on top, and this was something I also didn't get clarity on. I had did some research, watched some other YouTube videos, and I saw that some people use plastic, some people used cardboard. When I was talking with other people using ChatGPT, I was told that a garden fabric was okay to use, so I went ahead and decided on this one. Plus, I thought it might have been a little bit better for the environment. Now, as I was spreading this, I wasn't sure if this could go over the sprinklers or if I should put it under. I went ahead and decided to put it under just in case if anything happened with the sprinklers, it'll be easier to access rather than trying to pull so much up to get to the sprinkler. So that was the reason for putting the fabric under the sprinklers as I was putting it down. But again, let me know down in the comments if there was a better process to this, and I will definitely make a mental note of that next time. But once that got done, I was so exhausted. I actually didn't get to lay the mulch into the next morning. It was such a long evening. And prior to that, again, for a couple days, we were pulling weeds. So I was exhausted. I was so tired. But when I woke up the next morning, I did start laying the mulch. This was the mulch that I had got from Lowe's, and I was told that this would be a good option because it is organic, and I was told that's better for the flower beds. We ended up using 6 to 7 bags of this mulch, and I was so proud of myself when I finally got to the end. I was so happy to see how all that hard work was paid off. But this is what it looked like. These are a couple pictures of what the flower beds look like now. This was definitely a project. And even though it was small, it was a lot more than I had anticipated, but I was so happy and so grateful to be even doing something like this. So I think it turned out great. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope to see you in the next one.